Give me a few minutes to explain how buying gold and silver and even platinum can be the start of how we fix our country physically, at least. I was watching an interview with Dr. Keith Weiner from Monetary Metals over the weekend, and he really got me thinking about gold and the awful situation we're in as a country. You don't have to work hard to find a collection of videos outlining all the financial challenges we face as Americans, and even globally with governments choosing unsound money principles. Unfortunately, we live in this world that's full of a lot of problems and not a lot of obvious solutions, which is part of why I can't stand the doom and gloom content. Because I don't believe it requires a lot of intelligence to point out everything that's wrong. Heck, we can all see that. Instead, I want solutions or options or things that we can do. I mean, half the time I can't tell if the talking heads are excited about the potential demise or excited about what they can sell us as a result. I mean, if only half of the things that people are discussing really happen, the US is going to make Venezuela look like a luxury resort destination. Ultimately, I refuse to believe that this country, the United States, the beacon of hope and freedom, could ever deteriorate to the levels often discussed. That the American experiment or our experiment in democracy and self-government based on these principles of democracy, freedom, and equality could ever fail in such a spectacular way. There's no question that we've gotten it wrong, and we've gotten a lot of things wrong, and I know that firsthand as a black man. But we are a work in progress. But we do have the foundation that makes us best equipped to navigate and survive what we face as we strive for a more perfect country. Yes, we kind of fell for the okie doke of fiat currency like most other countries and even civilizations before us. But that doesn't mean we are destined for the graveyard or that we can't be fixed, repaired, overhauled, repurposed, or whatever is the correct term for this situation. Don't get me wrong, I'm not overly optimistic and I'm not going to start a campfire and force you to sing Kumbaya, my lord, or anything like that. But I do think there's hope here. During his interview, Dr. Weiner said something that really stuck with me as he summarized the value and importance of gold.
It's honesty of dealings. It's a moral rectitude which empowers people to cause or enforce a fiscal rectitude.
He couldn't be more correct. The purpose and reason we had money in the first place was we needed something to serve as a medium of exchange for goods and services, unit of account for measuring the value of goods and services. It was something that needed to be portable, durable, divisible, and fungible. Now, if you stop right there, that definition would work for gold, silver, as well as fiat currency. But thankfully, there's one more criteria, and that last criteria makes all the difference in the world. It also has to be a store of value. It's that final piece that separates the real from the fake. Or expanding on Dr. Weiner's comment, it's what makes dealings honest or dishonest. And its rectitude is really about us being honest and morally upright and virtuous in how we handle our money and the way we transact, and subsequently our financial system. But we lost that along the way, starting in 1913 with the creation of the Federal Reserve, the creation of income tax, making gold illegal to own, removing the gold standard, and ultimately having a financial system with money printing, money creation, and fractional reserve banking, all built on cheating and using different rules depending on who you are. This has ultimately led to the proliferation of the dollar and its intended design to lose value over time, where we've lost more than 90% of our purchasing power, which in reality is theft. The government's stealing our quality of life and the effort we expend to earn that dollar that literally buys less and less. We tend to view gold for all the protection it provides us, but what if gold and silver had the power to do more?
Gold is the thing that empowers people on an individual basis to say, I opt out. You all are doing that and I can't stop you, but I can stop you by not giving you my funding. It's not my savings you're going to do that to.
Again, Dr. Weiner is 100% correct. Gold and silver provide us with the opportunity to level set or even reset the way in which we do things. Buying precious metals absolutely allows us to get off the hamster wheel and not allow the system to continue as normal. Gold and silver aren't just about the quantity of money. It is also about the honesty of it. It's about pulling money out of the system to make it that much harder for them to continue to steal from our future generations and making promises that the government can't keep. I'm not delusional enough to think that our individual stacks are going to solve the problems of the government counterfeiting our money by nonstop printing or stopping the fractional reserve banking, the theft of our money through inflation, or the loss of our purchasing power. But we can be the kindling wood that potentially starts the fire that turns into an inferno.
But if I say that they're borrowing without the means or intent to repay, that should not be controversial. That should make people angry. You don't get change unless enough people are seriously pissed off. And I thought the only way that the monetary system is going to change is if enough people get pissed off enough.
He's absolutely right, and it should piss us off. I've covered the Exeter's pyramid before, and the reality that the derivatives of real money, meaning gold and silver, has created all these issues that will lead to a collapse back down to the foundation, which is gold and silver. So we clearly see the path we're on, and we know the destination. It's the same path and ending point all currencies follow, towards a currency crisis or collapse, which means we have to do something that is different. And in addition to our own personal safety, we have to fight back and bring others along with us, as returning gold and silver to their rightful place is how we save our country and why we need to gather a critical mass. So now let's really get to how we can be a part of saving our country by using gold and silver. One, we have to continue to stop the banks from creating currency by trading our fiat for real money in the form of gold, silver, and even platinum. Two, we have to bring others along into the stacking community, not because it's going to go to the moon, but because we're going to go off of a cliff if we don't change our course. Three, finding ways to support and highlight states like Utah, where gold is recognized as real money. Four, we need to demand that more states take actions like Tennessee that allows the state to invest in gold, or Texas, who's exploring a gold-backed currency. Number five, support and donate money to the Sound Money Defense League and other organizations that do the work to return gold and silver to our monetary system. They do the work to remove taxations on metals, introduce legislation to support sound money policies, and elect individuals that support our cause. And six, we can band together to support banks that participate in sound banking and support banks that you often hear people like Rick Rule talk about, like Farmers and Merchants Bank of Long Beach, First National Bank of Alaska, banks that have close to 20% equity reserves and good liquidity and that aren't participating in extreme money lending, or Rick Rule's soon-to-come Battle Bank that will allow us to use gold as a form of security for loans, or companies like Monetary Metals where you could invest your gold and get paid interest not in cash, but in gold. You can't be expected to do everything, but there are things we all can do to try to save our country from financial ruin. The solution is not in riling people up and making us all terrified. Yes, we do need to be prepared, but if we love this country, we need to try to save her. It's true, our stacks are tiny in comparison to the problems that we face, but the things that we can do, we must do, like removing our fiat from the system, from the banks, and putting them into gold and silver. And while that's a great start, there's still more we can do. And as Ron Paul said, because gold is honest money, it's disliked by dishonest man. We can't stop them individually, but we can choose not to participate and to make it more challenging. Let's help bring our country back by forcing the issue of honest money. In the comments section, what are other things we can do around gold and silver to force this issue of sound money? Are there any other organizations we should be aware of or supporting to help our cause? If nothing else, please put an A+ in the grade book so everyone can know that you are an amazing student. Always stack smarter and never stop learning.